Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Coach Cotton from Top 10 New England here with another show. Will, can you figure out how to turn that down, baby? Yeah, this is a home podcast. You know what I mean? We don't got a studio, but I do want to bring. Can you turn the volume down? But we want to bring you some news from New England. We're gonna have Coach Fred X on today, and if you are on and you're hearing this and you're in the chat, let us know if you want to jump on, and we will bring you right on. We want to talk a little bit of New England football. I have a whole bunch of information to give out, and it's gonna kind of be all over the place. I was trying to organize it, but my work, I got out at 5, got home, tried to be involved with the family a little bit, and yeah, man, it's just not enough. It's just not enough time. Not enough time to get everything done. Anyway, definitely want to bring you guys a good show. So, without further ado, let's check out our intro.
Top 10 New England, your number one source for youth sports. Have his Instagram where you can go and you can also keep track of his updates, but we'll continue to look at and follow Luke's career. If you like the same elevate your name and your game on our platform, Top 10 New England.
Hey, what's up? I hope you like that little introduction that we got. We got a bunch of stuff to go to show you on this show. Yeah, we got a lot of highlights to look through. We got some rankings to talk about. I guess to start off the show, well, I don't want to start off with the hottest stuff because people are going to be trickling in. Hey, Van D from Lynn is in the building. One of the coolest youth sports moms around, giving us all this information, helping us to keep the youth sports culture in New England strong. To start off, we're going to do a little Week 5 recap. The number 1 ranked Lynn Rams 9U defeated the ASL Bengals 38-0. Isaiah Peterson and Bryce Hill led the way for the Rams on offense, with Hill having a kick return, receiving TD from Chase McMillan, and a pick 6 to end the game. Peterson rushed for 2 touchdowns and a conversion. Tyler McDonald Jr. rushed for a touchdown while leading the Rams on defense. Mekhi Anderson ran in a conversion. Jose Hernandez and Yandel Robles dominated on the D-line for the Rams, securing the shutout. That's an update from the number 1 ranked Lynn Rams 9U. In 10U action, the Quincy United defeated the Boston Chargers 33-20. The Manchester South Saviors, who are 3-1, defeated the Plymouth Huskies in Plymouth to take control of the division up there in New Hampshire. Dorchester won 5 out of 6 games. In an 11U game, they took down a strong Central Falls team. Yes, sir, Coach Lark. The 9U team is a strong team, and they're looking to take that leap and win regionals this year. Last year they had a really strong showing. But we're looking to see if they can turn that corner and win regionals this year. New London, who was the 8U champions last year, their coach is no longer the head coach, and the team is kind of broken up. And so that opens it up for the battle between Springfield and Lynn as the top 2 teams in 9U. We have some dark horses in 9U, so I don't want to leave anyone out. So let me look at the rankings real quick. Fall River Falcons are always a strong program. Let's see how they perform in the playoffs. Got the Mattapan Patriots, strong 8U squad last year that I believe Mattapan took Lynn. It's okay. Mattapan took Lynn to the not Lynn. Yeah, no. Mattapan took New London to the limit in the regional championship game. That game was actually streamed on our channel, and it should still be up. I might have took it down because honestly, I want our teams to have the advantage when we go to. So in New England, when we go, that's my son in the background. In New England, when we go down to Florida, it's New England. No, this is top 10 New England, but we want New England teams to win. So any request that a coach makes, we're gonna make it happen. Now, I will say though that there are teams out in California whose every game is on YouTube, and it's like you got to stop us. So it's an interesting thing. We'll touch base on that on a different show. 12U action. Okay, this is a really good game. Number 2, Mount Hope went down to the Waterbury Knights. Number 4, 22-12. Let me say that again. From CT, the Waterbury Knights took down Mount Hope, which is from Rhode Island, but plays in the New England Elite League out in the Boston area. Waterbury won 22-12. That solidifies Springfield as the undisputed 12U top team in AYF. There has been talk of Springfield playing against Hartford, but with the Manchester Redhawk win, we might need to see the Springfield Tigers play Manchester Redhawks. Manchester Redhawks. We have Lynn Rams. AU moves to 5-0 with a 25-6 win over the Boston Raiders. We are going to drop the 8U rankings at the end of next week. So when we drop the rankings next week, we'll have the 8U rankings. Okay, so that's going to be a there's a lot of people watching. You see all these people right here? They're all watching right now. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to keep being silly, you can be silly. I'm not, I love my son, but for the 8U Rams, Juju Arnett had a rushing touchdown. Jordan Lark had a receiving touchdown in a conversion. Darren Kelsey had a rushing touchdown. Dante Elliott had a rushing touchdown, and Eli Rock had a passing touchdown. Defense played lights out with Fernando Casada, Sebastian Hurd, Braden M., J.J. McMillan, and others held it down. It was a big, big game from the O-line and the D-line. So big shout out to the O-line and D-line of the 8U Lynn Rams. Now, if you are sitting at home and your team is not getting a shout out, talk to your coach. Tell him to hit up Coach Cotton at Top 10 New England so we can give your kids recognition. And listen, if the coach sends me a list of the whole team, we are going to shout out the whole team. It's about showing love, okay? So if you want to highlight one player, 3 players, or the whole roster, send it out to Top 10 New England, and we want to recognize them, okay? This is where we recognize all the kids. Let's see. We got 12U. In 12U action, Fairlawn won 32-12, and Fairlawn moves to 4-0. Fairlawn is, let's see where they are ranked. Let's see. Fairlawn was ranked number 10, so they're looking to rise in the rankings at the 12U division. Now, not long ago, there was a Fairlawn team that won regionals 2 years in a row, and they had a kid, Sebastian Lora, Lora, and that boy was a beast. That boy was a beast. We're gonna jump into our first highlight. While I load that up, let's see. So we're gonna jump into our first highlight, and then we'll come right back. All right, so here we got Coach Jeff and his daughter, Jazz, okay, makes a great play and breaks up a pass. He said they tried to pick on her and she was not having it. Okay, this is Jazz right here. She's just a baller, man. She's just a natural. Coach Jeff is a great guy, very competitive, and yeah. So yeah, there goes that playing slow motion to the instant replay. He's also the film guy, so he usually gets pretty good film. So that was Jazelyn, I think Lozado. The Dorchester Eagles beat Central Falls 25-0, moving to 4-0 in 8U. It was a rainy and muddy day, but made the game slow, but they still made things happen. Logan Ayub from the Easton Tigers helped his team to a 13-0 win. He had 12 rushes for 106 yards, 1 TD, 5 tackles, and 2 tackles for loss. Gonna check out another highlight, guys. This is not easy to do, but I'm working on it. I see why people have producers. Another highlight. Let's check this out. Is it not playing? It is not playing. All right, so that highlight's not playing. Sorry about that, guys. Stop screen. All right, so we had Jamel Richardson, number 18, Mattapan Patriots, was the best linebacker and the smallest linebacker in the state. We have a highlight for him. I'll load that one up. This one is from TikTok. Let's get this TikTok going. TikTok. That's not right. All right, having technical difficulties with that one. We gotta move on from there. Sorry about that, y'all. New Haven, 11U, 21. New Britain Kane, 6. New Haven, 12U, 22. New Britain Canes, 20. And New Haven, 13U, 13. 8 over New Britain Junior Canes. That game was called at halftime. I don't want to go into the details because that's not what we're about on this channel. Jackson Vaughn Jenkins, 9U Springfield Tigers defensive end, number 55. And on offense, he plays offensive tackle. His dad says, watch out, y'all. Big tank in y'all league now. 2024 Springfield Tigers, 9U. 3-0. What a wonderful start. Her hard work pays off. 5 sacks to start the season. Let's go Tigers. U10 action. Springfield Cowboys 27. Boston Raiders 0. 9U update. Trey Watson 2 interceptions. 1 return for a touchdown. 2 rushing touchdowns. Manchester Tewksbury beat Manchester East 38-12. Oh man. So this brings up a point, well, not a point, but this brings up something that I wanted to address, which was, so I had Manchester East ranked above Tewksbury, and Tewksbury handled business as they should, and it just brings the point up, man. If you don't like the ranking, handle it on the field. You might not get to play the team that's number 1, but you will get to play against teams that you have on your schedule. When you play them, make some noise. Tewksbury definitely made some noise. They let us know that they are the real deal and that I need to reevaluate. My rankings for that age group. The more information you guys give us, the better the rankings will be. Trust me, nothing is more embarrassing for me. Nothing makes me feel worse than getting the rankings wrong. Do I get them wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. I put a lot of time into it, but it's not an easy thing to do. And when a team wins, we will correct those rankings. So if you can get us as much information as possible, including some clips so we can see it, what the speed looks like, what the size looks like. We definitely are on that. There's no way for any one person to be everywhere at one time. I'm trying to figure out systems for that, but at the moment we are working on word of mouth and definitely film. Film is better than word of mouth. Tyree, I'm definitely down for that, bro. Let's connect after the live stream so we can figure that out. Trying to figure out how to get these clips off of Instagram. It's a lot trying to lift clips off of Instagram. I'm sure there's an app for that. I just paid like a bunch of money for some apps that didn't work, so that's what's up. Oh, Coach Christian, what's up? Coach Crawford, what's up, man? Your son is a beast. We already know that. Robert Beeman said, I hope Springfield Tigers get to line up with Manchester Redhawks. That would be a battle. I don't think so. I think the Springfield Tigers 12U team is the best team in New England by far. I don't think it would be close, but I'd love to see that game. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. For example, if you look at the Tewksbury Manchester East game, you can see that I've been wrong before. In 10U action, East Providence 20, Providence 14. It was an ugly game, but they won it. 10U action. Lynn 32, Leominster 0. Leominster, my wife tells me all the time. In 13U action, Lynn, I believe it was 46-0 against the Boston Chargers, but Lynn is a very classy organization, so they stop at the mercy rule, so they posted 32-0. Let's see, 11U, Lynn 33, Boston Raiders 0. 6U Flex played Shrewsbury and are thrilled to watch the team continue to learn and grow each week. Great job to everyone. Merrimack Valley Spartans football and cheer 9U beat Oxford Webster 26-0, and they are 4-1 on the season. Jared, put the 13U score down there in the comments. If I might have it, I might not have it. I know the result, but I don't know if I have that score. Get back to this. Tewksbury. Somebody said Tewksbury's Redmen and Manchester Cobras 9U had the game of the week on my Facebook page. It did. But Tewksbury beat Manchester 38-12, and it was without Tewksbury's top two players. Wow. Okay. Springfield Tigers 11U. They had a three touchdown performance from Jace Williams. Everything was clicking for them offensively. Defense was flying around and looking like themselves. That's an update from Springfield Tigers 11U. Springfield Tigers 9U, Christian Morneau, new quarterback, played really well. He ran the ball well and threw 2 TDs. Ace Kelly had to play the game with the fingertip catch in the end zone. That's an update from Springfield Tigers 9U. From Springfield Tigers 7U, who lost 32-0, Coach White said Nolan was making open field tackles and never gave up. And he wants to give a big shout out to Nolan Brown. Got an update with me. Oh. All right, so here goes a play-by-play of Manchester. So Manchester started off with the first TD of the game on a 10-yard rush to make it 6-0. Next drive, Tewksbury came down the field and scored a 20-yard rushing TD, making it 6-6. Then converted an onside kick and took over at Manchester's 40-yard line and punched in a 5-yard rushing TD with an extra point to make it 13-6. Manchester came back with another rushing TD to make it 13-6. Then Tewksbury adjusted after that and took over to win 38-12. Each team fumbled a couple times, but Manchester couldn't score. But Tewksbury scored a TD off a Manchester fumble. Touchdowns were pretty scattered throughout. Manchester had 22, scored 2 touchdowns. And Tewksbury had 28, scored a couple touchdowns. Both are running backs. That's an update from the 9U game. All right, this is the update from the 12U Springfield Tigers' dominant performance. Coach said he would like to pick a player that stood out, but he said, honestly, it was a collective growth of the team. He said they could tell that it was going to be a highly competitive game, so we allowed them to be football players, play free and read what they see and react. That's exactly what they did. Coach said they barely call plays. They respond as a team, show great play recognition, and show why they are a team to beat at 12U. Jose Santiago was an unblockable force. With the addition of Michael Ravosa on a defensive line, teams can no longer game plan and double team Jose without paying the price to athletic and long defensive end. With Cam Lawrence not playing defensive end this year, teams look to face a Remember the Titans edge game with the Spanish Aaron Donald leading the way. Good luck to opposing offensive lines. In the secondary, you have always consistent and shutdown corner Madison Maddie, who proves to young men each week that she belongs in the game. Not only can she cover, but she also can come up and lay the boom if needed. She's a straight up dog. 42, people will remember his name, Ryland Thrasher, one of the most electric players in New England. When they are holding their grandkids, coach said, and telling about their youth football days, it will all be good stories until they are reminded of how they could never stop Ryland Thrasher from running over their face while also making physical tackles for loss on the defensive side of the ball. He's averaging 2+ TDs a game and 5+ tackles a game. You better be ready to abandon your week's game plan. Whew. 12U is sounding tough. 12U is sounding tough. Springfield Tigers 13U game update. We had a pick 6 by Xavier Ortega. Hartford Wildcats update from this weekend. Marquise Gunn had 3 TDs total, 2 passing TDs, and 2 interceptions with a pick 6. 13U, Caden Cody had 300 yards passing and 4 TDs. Sorry, Caden Coy. I'm going to post some of these videos because it's not working off my notes. All right, some of the most exciting football I have seen in years is happening at 11U Millbury Sutton Raiders. They have won via mercy rule in all but one game, dispatching of opponents with a single half of football each time. Their backups have held the line, not giving up a single touchdown, playing first-team offense. It's good to see a team that can long snap and kick the point after consistently. Their coaches are dialed in. This team is on fire. Go Raiders. Here's a breakdown for the Springfield Tigers 13U domination, 42-0 over the Meriden Raiders. Xavier Ortega had 1 rush TD, 1 interception TD. Remy Brown had 2 passing TDs. Kenny Brown had 1 receiving TD. Quinn Martin had 1 receiving TD. Speedy had 1 rushing TD. That's Deshaun Austin Jr. Justin Hurst had 1 fumble return for a TD. Defensively, Justin Hurst also had 2 sacks, 1 tip pass, and a TD. Wakanda Malachi Robinson had 1 forced fumble and 1 sack. JC had 2 tackles for loss, and Xavier had 3 tackles for loss, and of course, the pick 6. All right, going up to New Hampshire with a little bit of update. We had Xavier Maldonado 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown for Nashua. In Merrimack Valley 9U, he said the coach played a lot of second and third stringers, much more this week. It was that kind of a game. Got to get those guys in as much as possible. I instruct all the coaches to make sure of that. With that said, we had a great contributions across the board. Martez Tamang had 3 touchdowns, ton of tackles, and a fumble recovery. Carter Weingard, another solid game on both sides of the ball, 3 solo tackles. Julian Ortiz ran 2 extra points and caused a fumble. Dimitri Ortiz solid on defense with 5 solo tackles and 1 TD. Key contributions from Guy Velez, Matt Hollingsworth, and Louis Amir Beltre on both sides of the ball. Oakmont Chargers 4th and 5th grade team won 27-0 against Charlton Dudley Rams. B. Collier Jones had a sack, 40-yard run, scored an extra point, 3 fumble recoveries, and many tackles. L. Roy and E. LeBlanc and J. Brodomark scored TDs. 11U Millbury Sutton Raiders beat Auburn 30-0. They're 4-1 on the season. Only loss came to Ayer, Shirley, Lunenburg, and a close thriller, 12-7. The team is standouts. Everyone plays their roles. Now, I want to say, when we get the rankings wrong, we will fix it, plain and simple. Coaches can help by submitting information. The more info you send, the more we will listen. If we get it wrong, we will fix it. The less info you send, I mean, we can't do much for you. Don't wait until the rankings come out and then complain about, oh, you don't know about this. Only way we know is if you tell us. If you send us the film. If you don't do that, I don't want to hear it. That's just it. I'm not going back and forth with people who just complain, man. You know, you got a sad life. You got a sad life. They don't got nothing to do with me. I'm spending a lot of time on this page, a lot of time on these rankings. You can help out by sending your information. If you don't want your team ranked, don't even pay attention to the page because you will be mad. Because if we don't know about you, we can't promote you, and that's just what it is. All right, let me see what else. I know I got some other highlights. All right, we got. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. I'm gonna show you some highlights from Instagram, and I'm gonna add Coach X to the stage. What's up, Coach?
Hey, how you doing? Sorry for the delay, Coach.
No, that's all good, man. Hey, we was talking a little bit earlier about ranking of teams, like the logic that goes behind ranking the teams and strength and schedule and head-to-head matchups. How do you feel about teams that beat a team before, but now they claim that they should be ranked ahead of them, even though they didn't play them and beat them, get the revenge game yet?
I mean, honestly, Coach, it depends. It depends a lot on, the head-to-head. At the end of the day, who did you play and who did you beat? We both played college football together, and we won a lot of games. But it always boiled down to who played who beat who. So, it's like you said, people complain when sometimes the ranking will come out or things like that, but it boils down to who you played. So if you beat a team, you beat them. If you didn't beat them, you didn't beat them. It's really that simple, Coach. And then I think the next variable is playoff. The playoffs, strength of schedule, things like that. Other than those three things, unless you played head to head, it's hard to split hairs and shoulda, woulda, coulda, kind of thing. So for me, it's all about the head to head. If you lost to a team, you can't be ranked in front of them. That's just as simple as it gets, in my opinion.
Well, I just want to say to people listening, this is why it's important to share as much information as you can. Now, I know that people I'm a coach. I know how important film is. I know people don't like sharing film. But I will tell you this. When I was trying to get my team ranked by somebody, 302, I think it was 302 Sports, 302. He's from Delaware. I knew he couldn't come see a game in Massachusetts, right? Or Connecticut. I sent him the film, man. I'm like, yo, the film don't lie. You can see a lot from film, right? Yeah. Now, obviously, he wasn't around. He wasn't part of any competitors' teams. But how I feel is like I have not shared film. I have not shared film that people have shared with me. When I see the film, you can see speed on the film. You can see size on the film. You can see scheme. And it's really helpful to compare teams like that, right? Not every member of the AP poll gets to go to every single game, right? But you get to watch the film. And so that's what I'm encouraging people. Send the film. You don't even have to send all the film. Send a couple highlight clips. We can tell a lot from your team by watching them, right? Are they catching with their hands? Are they catching with their body? Are you running the same patterns? Do you have a diverse playbook? Are your kids explosive, or are they just a little bit better than the kids that they're playing, right? So that's the type of thing. What do you think about that, Coach?
Yeah, Coach, I was just about to touch on that, like conference play. Obviously, some conferences are stronger than others, but and I'm not trying to put anybody down or thing like that. But there's some conferences that are better than others. So you can go 2-0 in one conference, you might be 0-2 in a different conference. So we always take that into consideration. Anytime we talk about youth sports, not just football, we always look at that conference play. So conference play definitely big factor. and everything as well.
Yeah. We saw it, right? Like when we played against the Lincoln Lions, and that was a while ago. I think that the Blackstone Valley has gotten stronger since then.
Yeah, a little bit. They have.
We played, and I'm not trying to pick on them. So now they play in what's called preteen in New England and Rhode Island. So that's preteen is like a local league. But when we played them, like I don't think that we ever kind of rolled through a team like that in our conference play, and so it made the Blackstone Valley Conference at that age group not look as strong. Now I would say my son played on our 13U team, and they played against the Lions 13U team that was 5-time regional champions. So the conference strength, I feel, varies from year to year, right?
It definitely does. Definitely does.
The conference strength for us is determined based on regional play. So regional play, you usually have Blackstone Valley, now New England Elite, Central Mass, Connecticut, and New Hampshire. They're all playing each other. And so from that game, we can, by derivatives, we can determine, okay, this conference is stronger than that conference, and head to head, this is the score.
Right. In those situations, you wouldn't even really need the head to head, because there's no team in that conference that could beat probably even the worst team in that other conference. You know what I mean? And the way you can tell that is by regional play. For example, CLCU, they had a great season, great team. But when they matched up against the CT teams, Springfield, for example, they got washed. It was a sweep. You know what I mean? Up in Bryan College.
Right.
So
that was like a home game for them, right? Bryanson, Rhode Island.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 20-30 minutes from their home fields or less. And meanwhile, these CT teams are traveling, a couple hours, and it didn't matter. So, I definitely see. I hear what you're saying. They're making improvements in that conference, but they don't match up well against certain other conferences as well.
So I would say this. I would say that because I was watching it very closely. I believe the Lynn Rams played Fairlawn last year before they played Springfield, and I think the game was maybe a 2-touchdown game.
Fairlawn, right?
Fairlawn and Lynn.
Yeah.
So now Lynn plays. So this is the 12U last year, which is the 13U cohort.
13U now. Yeah.
So now Lynn plays Springfield, and I think Lynn won 28-22. So to me, that's how I gauge the strength, right? So I'm like, okay, if Fairlawn's 2 touchdowns worse and Springfield was 1 touchdown worse, then I'm kind of ordering everybody else off of that, because I know that in that season Lynn played North Middlesex, and I think that game was like a touchdown game. You know what I mean? And so you start piecing together the pieces from there, which brings me to kind of Coach Myers, who's saying Hartford Hurricanes 12U has the toughest schedule in New England. I'd like to see the schedule, Coach.
Yeah, I need to see the schedule on that, Coach.
I'd like to see the schedule. It. So I'm teaching 5th grade now, teach 5th grade math, but I'm in science a lot now. So you have a hypothesis, but you have to test it.
You have to test. Yeah, you need the proof and
we got to see the schedules. You know what I mean? Like I know the Springfield Tigers 13U squad played Hartford. I believe that was a scrimmage though, Coach. And that game was 24-6. I know that Hartford played. Yep. No, that Manchester game was tough. I was there. That was a great game. I know that Hartford played against who did they play? They played against not Meriden. They played against Bloomfield, and that was a 6-0 game, right? So 13U is kind of mixing it up because they go on Pop Warner, AYF's playing against each other. Lynn played against Mount Hope, Coach. It was a.
And then you said, and then there was a change. There was a change to AYF now, right? With Mount Hope.
Yeah, Mount Hope, Dorchester, they both came over. Those are the power teams. There was a couple other teams in the Boston area that came over. Yeah. That's big. That's big news. Hartford. Let me see. Okay, number 9 Hartford Wildcats. Breaking news. Number 9 Hartford Wildcats are going to be playing against the Hartford Hurricanes. I just want to see. I don't know if Coach has a bye. It doesn't look like he has New Haven 2 times. I want to see if Hartford can line it up with the number 1 team in our rankings. But shoot, yeah.
If they line that up, I would definitely be there for that one. Definitely.
Sorry, so a parent was looking for their license at the games. I'm just trying to coordinate that real quick. They found the license, so that's good. But yeah, we want to see that game. So we just, we're looking at the rankings and stuff, and it's listen, I'm gonna be real with everybody. And coach was with me when I started Top 10 New England. I felt like the teams in New England needed more competition before they got to nationals.
Yeah, that honestly and I'm not even talking about just the top 10 right now. I'm just talking about like my experience as a coach. And that was the biggest reason I think we didn't win at least 2 games. We won 1 game. And then there's some teams that win no games, and then obviously the national champion who wins 3. So just the competition level is night and day. The best team in New England is not, they're probably in the middle of the pack, maybe 5 or 6, somewhere in there. And that's where we finished. We finished 6th.
Right.
We finished 6th out of 10 twice in a row with a superior team that I think there was a 2-year stint we didn't lose in the conference. And just to go down there and play a team like what was the team from Texas? There was a Texas team there that was elite.
Frogs.
Yeah, the Frogs team was good. And the second year was the Steelers.
Yeah,
out of Michigan.
Yep, Detroit.
So yeah, those teams would destroy the teams out east. You know what I mean? They did. They proved it on a national stage. So I like to see a lot more crossover games with different parts of the country, just to see, where New England fares. Because
Right.
I think the only proof we have right now is what team? I think it was your son and Coach Waddy. They went down there and made some noise. They almost came away with a natty. I think in recent years that was the Springfield team to do the best, and then the track team was right there with them. But again, if there was better competition, throughout the country, I think one of those teams wins the national championship, if not both.
Agreed.
Granted that they win their games, obviously,
Right.
That's
so
what those teams were.
And that's why we do Top 10 because I think, we did play games. We played games in Brooklyn. We played games in Rochester, right? That's 5-hour drive, 3-hour drive. But when you got, Hartford, even though like the score was 24-8 when we played against the Hartford Hurricanes, but that's a 30-minute drive, right? Like if you could get some smoke with a city of a relatively the same population size, get the smoke. Why are we going 8 hours away? Now, I do think we should do the 8-hour, 7-hour drives to get the smoke, but I don't think that we should, in New England, allow conference affiliation to stop the best teams from playing the best teams. It's at the end of the day, it's only going to make you better. And that loss don't mean nothing if you play against a different conference, right? You play if I play a team from Pop, we played West Haven and lost a close game. And then we went to regionals and went to nationals, right? But we need that game helped us to get better.
Yeah, because the game against RMG, the first time, I mean, they destroyed us. They top to bottom. But that game prepared that team to go down south and at least win 1 game.
Right.
Without that game, you might not win that. And it was a close game. It was like 6-7 or something like that. A close.
Right.
It was a close game. It came down to and I'll give a shout out real quick to Speedy Austin. Speedy Austin runs 103 yards. You're looking at me, you're like, Coach, you called the counter on the goal line? Like, That's the last thing they'd expect, Coach.
I don't know if they're listening. We were not going into score. We were on our own goal line trying to. He called the counter, and that boy took it to the house. You guys can check that out on the page because it's definitely up. But yeah, we did that. But you got to have the competition. And for me, when I'm live streaming the games, and those games are also up on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, I'm rooting for New England teams. Right. And I want to feel like our teams are prepared for the smoke. I know there are some people who talk about, oh, New England is D10 and we're no good in football. No. We have players, but we have to expose the players to the type of adversity that they're going to see. And they can't wait until they get to Florida to see the adversity. That's a very expensive lesson. Yeah. I say play the teams up here and see if you got what it takes. And if you don't waste the money. Don't waste the money. Don't waste the time. But if you could play a team up here and lose by 6 or lose by 12, and it's a really good team, and you could kind of recalibrate and get it right, and then win your regionals, then you go down and you're ready to compete. The team that we played, a team called the Arizona Suns. Oh, yeah. And they played against Air, and they played against OG Ducks. They lost both of those games. They were not a dominant team in the West, but D2, they were very competitive because they played football. Very technically sound, right? And so that's what I'm kind of just trying to encourage. I'm trying to encourage some of these. Listen, so Bloomfield beat West Haven. I believe a year or two ago, Bloomfield was not even in Pop Warner. They were just in a local league. So there are teams. People don't. This is what people don't realize. Sometimes I take a chance and rank teams that are not Pop Warner and AYF because sometimes those teams are really like that. You don't have to go to Florida. You don't have to be an AYF or Pop Warner to be a good team, right? Good football is good football. And so, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. No, I was going to say they have. So, I mean, obviously we're talking about top 10 New England, but I'm just thinking of a PAL league in New York, and there's teams in that league that don't play in the normal leagues. But you'll find a team that could beat any of those teams. And they just don't have the affiliation. So I'm glad you brought that up. Affiliation isn't always a determining factor, whether the team is better or not.
Exactly. So we just want to encourage people to play against each other, right? I'm gonna leave off the show with this. If you really think you're better than the team, instead of arguing and debating with them on a top 10 New England, call them out, inbox the coach, and invite them for a game. If you know, because I know some teams, some coaches have expressed to me they know they're going to blow out a team. I'm sure that team would take the forfeit on the schedule. Have them contact me. I'll hook them up with another team that's equally, of likability. And then let's set you up with some smoke. Let's set you up with a real team that you could play against. And that's what top 10 New England is about. It's about challenging the best with the best. If you're playing against a team and they got 15 kids and they know they don't have a chance, it doesn't even make sense to have the game. We can make the game. We can make a cross-conference game work and line up a real team with a real team so you can get the work that you need in preparation for regionals, your state championship game, and nationals possibly. Coach, any final words for listeners?
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, and I remember, man, it was like 5 or 6 years ago. This has been in the works for a while. Top 10 New England, and I remember vividly the first thing you said, and the first year I coached with you, we didn't make the playoffs. We weren't a good team, and you said it. You got to line up smoke with everybody that's willing to line it up if you want to get better. So for all those teams that want the recognition, you got to line the smoke up. You could beat up on teams in your conference 50-0, but then you scared to play a team like Springfield or some of the better teams. So we want to see the cross conference smoke. That's the only way to determine. Or you could sit in the comments and complain. It's your choice,
All right. Thank you so much for joining me, Coach. We're gonna chop it up offline. Hey, shout out to all people who are listening. Really appreciate Coach Myers and his comments in the chat. Coach Waddy Jenkins says FT's conferences, the best should play the best. Listen, we pay for the conference.
Right.
We pay the dues to the conferences. We should tell the conferences what we want. At the end of the day, you're gonna go play nationals if you pay the money and you win your regionals. But that shouldn't stop you from within the season line up the best smoke that you can within a reasonable area range. All right. So for Coach X and for myself, it's Top 10 New England signing off. See you guys next week. Oh, rankings are dropping on Wednesday. I know y'all waiting for those. There's some shakeups happening. Later.